Pat, I find you in this little village in County Kildare on a very unusual 21st century infrastructural cobble project, fully funded by Kildare County Council, and you found yourself with an original fabric and a 21st century design. So do you want to give us some information regarding the original fabric and the materials that we're using to carry out your project?
Yes, Caroline. Fortunately, I was involved with the design from the start. What I found when I got here was a totally cobbled pavement with a shore in on the end of it to take the water away, set in an earth mortar, and then it was the bedding mortar. That was essentially what was here about 160 to 180 years ago.
And when you were faced with this original fabric, did you find any evidence of quicklime, or how did they bed the cobble? Was it all clay? Was there other materials inside there that we wouldn't usually see? What did you find?
Yeah, in most cases where I do repairs to cobble, what you find is traditionally what was used was an earth bedding mortar. Flexible, it's cheap, you can dig it up locally. That's a lot of traditional cobbles of this nature were set in an earth mortar. So that's what I found. When I got here.
And now your materials, then we'll move forward to the project itself. So what materials are you using in the project?
Yes. Now for the new project, we're using lime mortars to bed the cobbles in, and lime mortars to bed the paving in for the grouting mixes, and we're using a limestone, Kilkenny limestone, for the paving. That's what you see behind you. So it's actually all limestone that we're using in some way, shape or form, including limestone, gravels, aggregates from the quarry here.
And the cobble, so did you buy in the cobble, or did you find it locally? And the limestone slabbing,
Yes, the cobble are all original. We were able to salvage all of the cobble.
So Pat, at the design stage, what was the thought process when you were designing up the new bedding mortars, the flow, how to get it to work? This is all conjecture. Everything wasn't in place originally in this project. So what was the approach? As you can see here, the environmental conditions are quite heavy. Throughout the recording of this project, it's, we've could have went through in the last 15-20 minutes 15 ton big dumper trucks driving by. So these all have an impact on infrastructure.
They certainly do, Caroline, and based on previous experience dealing with situations similar to this, vibration is certainly one of them. So you need to have a flexible mortar.
And we'll just pause to show this is what the conditions are. So your flexible mortar
is essential for this to work. You've got a couple of things going on. You've got vibrations, you've got movement of ground obviously from the vibrations, you've got a steep slope, probably 10, 12, 15 degree of a slope back up the hill where you have water running down it. As you can see from this, the drain here, water will be flowing in this drain all the way down from the top. So those are some of the factors that came into being designing a mortar. So essentially a flexible mortar, but strong enough to hold up under heavy wet conditions.
And you still manage to keep the look of cobble. Sometimes you find in today's world when we see cobble, some people can't walk on it, it's a deterrent, or is it this quite safe now to walk on?
Well, absolutely, Caroline. If you look at my foot, I'm just standing on cobble there now. You don't stand on one cobble, you stand on 5-6 cobbles at any given time. So it's not an issue. We have cobble all over Ireland. It's been working all over the world. We have cobble.
So Pat, we have some cobble here in a section abutting the wall here, and here is a perfect example with this structure here. We have no renders. on the original fabric of the house, and we have this cobble. How will this work up against the house? Is it going to impact the structure? Is it, is it of benefit?
I think it's going to have a very positive impact on the house. If this were concrete or something hard, impermeable material, it would have a negative impact on this house. This house is built with stone and lime, as we can see. The cobble is set in line, so there's a lot of movement of air between the house and the cobble on the surface, on the floor surface. So I think they complement each other.
They do, and it looks very well too. So we'll just keep going here. So while you were carrying out the works here, your weather conditions, so you're using a quick lime binder, you're using natural hydraulic lime binders, you're here a year and a half, and so what kind of faced you in everyday conditions? I mean, today we have a lovely humid day, and we've no rain at the moment. So
Yes.
What were your conditions like?
Conditions were terrible during the winter. This job had to get done in the winter, so we had everything from rain to light frost this past winter to heat during the early spring before we got shut down. So all of the we've had all of it here, and that's why I believe in the mixture that we put together can deal with all these conditions.